Hi everyone, what we're going to do now is we're going to look at a simple little stitch called a stop stitch. Sometimes it's called a picot stitch, but more frequently it's known as a stop stitch, and it's a simple way to get some dimension into your work and also to attach something, a bigger bead with a smaller bead. So as you can see in this lovely little bracelet, what we've got is a simple piece of bead embroidery across the middle. You can see the back stitching where I've done some nice curved back stitching. And then in the middle I've made a little island of flowers and leaves. Of course, the big central bead in the middle of the island allows it to sit above, but around it are other little beads that are sitting on top of bigger beads below. You can see how it gives your work some texture and richness and some height. This is also a technique that I've used in these small pieces. In this case you can see I've turned the piece into a button. It's just a very simple piece of back stitching with some picoting of this leaf and these flowers and some little crystals. Okay, let's get going. I've taken a piece of the interfacing which I've coloured. I've already tied into the back and brought the thread through to the front of the work. What we'll do is we'll start with something very simple, and we'll take one of these large 6 green beads, size 6 green beads, and we'll secure it with a size 8. So you put the large bead on first and the small bead on second. Drop them down to the bottom of the thread, and then instead of moving the thread through both beads, you only move the thread through the bottom bead. Bring the thread through the back of the fabric and you'll see that you've got a little bead sitting up. What I like to do to secure my work is I'll tie off at least once more, not a knot, but this is really just to secure the work, then back up through both, but only down through the bottom bead. That's a basic stop bead or picot stitch, and you can see how immediately it gives a little bit of height, and so the bead is sitting up. Let's do another one. I'm going to bring the needle up through the bottom of the fabric, quite close to the first one. Let's do something a little bit more irregular now, like this piece of polished stone. It's been drilled. It's got a lovely shape actually. I'm going to use a much smaller bead this time, a size 11. You can see how I've got the large piece of drilled stone at the bottom and the little piece of little 11 bead at the top. Now I'm going to go back down through the bottom bead only, and you can see that it's now standing up, and it's using that stop bead here to prevent the thread from going back through. Tie off once through the bottom, and then it's up to you if you go back up through it or not. I go through them all twice. Let's do a different one now. I'd like to show you how to attach a flower. This little glass flower, thread it on with the cup facing upwards. Now I'm going to take a tiny little bronze bead, this is a size 11 bead, drop it down to the bottom of the flower and then put the thread only through the flower. That allows the little 15 to secure the flower. I'll tie it off once and go back up through the flower. I'll do one more and show you how to do a double. But this time I'm going to take a large size 6, a size 8, a size 11 and a size 15. Stack them up, go down through the second, third and bottom bead, and you'll get this nice stacking effect. Tying off underneath each stitch is what I like to do to ensure that everything's really secure. Let's do one more. We're going to, this is a turquoise rondelle, and it's a piece of South African turquoise. You can see it's drilled right through the middle, and it's in the sort of shape of a wheel, which is mostly what a rondelle is. And I'm going to secure it with this bronze 11. So I'll just let the 11 drop all the way down, and then going through the turquoise rondelle, through the fabric, and there it is. Okay, so that allows you to build up texture and height in your work. And as you can see, I've just drawn a circle onto this piece of interfacing which I've coloured with a light blue. And you can completely fill this with your bead soup, and it's very therapeutic and easy to do, and anyone can do it. And then at the end you have a very nice piece that you can use as an embellishment or a piece of jewellery. And coming up in a future video I will show you how to make something like this using a combination of the back stitch, couching and stop stitch methods. And then in our final video I'll show you how to do a brick stitch edging to complete the work. Okay guys, see you soon.